There are going to be times when you're going to need to advocate for the people around you. Everybody around you, and I feel like their voice is important, but you as a leader is going to have to speak up. It may be uncomfortable, but if God has graced you for the position, He's equipped you to do so. And that right there is another opportunity for growth. So I would encourage you that if you're in a position where you know you got to speak up and someone's telling you shouldn't, I would pray against that. And especially if it's in the right setting, speak up. Your voice is needed. Your voice is needed. Don't be afraid. You may feel it, but that's not of God. You may feel it, but don't let it consume you. Welcome back to the Easy Talk Show. I'm your host, Easy Ward. This is the show you get nourishment for your needs, food for your soul, and healing for your hearts. Thank you all for all the love and feedback from our last episode, Lessons in Leadership. Last episode, we talked about lessons in leadership and just how these lessons help propel us to be, one, a great leader, but the leader that God's called us to be. And today, it's going to be a continuation, part 2, lesson in leadership. I have a few more principles that, I want to go over and talk through. So I hope it blesses you. I hope it encourages you, and I hope it helps you see, who God wants you to become, as far as a leader. So I'm gonna jump right in. Before I do that, please like, comment, and subscribe to Easy Ward TV. Once again, please like, comment, and subscribe to Easy Ward TV. And it's a link below. It's called Flow Desk. I'm asking that you click that link as well to one. We're going to be having some nice, events coming this year, some nice things. Please tap in. This is going to be a great year. And, I promise to not spam you. So to get right back into Lesson Leadership Part 2, here we go. Lessons in Leadership Part 2. Let's get it. So the first lesson is identifying areas of opportunity and growth will make you stronger. So when I was writing this principle, one of the things that I thought about was that a lot of times as a leader, attacking the areas where you are not the most strong at, and in this episode, I'm not going to say weakness. I'm going to say areas where you are a bit deficient at this current time, because we're going to claim that you can get better. Those areas are areas of growth for you to make you become a better leader. So how do you attack those? One, reading, figuring out, if you have a mentor or somebody around you who can help, who can help foster that area of deficiency, and also who can put you in places where you can grow in that area, that cannot be, that one may not be as strong as where you want it to be. Here we go. You ready for this one? All leaders need someone to challenge them to get to the next level. Accountability does not feel good, but it is good for you. Accountability does not feel good, but it is good for you. All leaders need someone to tell you, you ain't doing that right. You can do better. I've had leaders professionally, spiritually, who tell me, hey, listen, you need to tighten up. That's not the standard. You can do better than that. That's not your best. And if you are humble and submit to that leadership, then you'll receive that. This is a bonus one, but all leaders need to be submitted to somebody else. All leaders should be submitted to one, another leader, somebody else who can call you and say, no, you shouldn't post that. No, you shouldn't do that. No, nope, you shouldn't post that. Don't go there, don't do that. If you don't have leadership in your life, you are really running a ungoverned life. Not only should you be submitted to God, but God gives us earthly authority that one we should be submitted to. Define what kind of leader you want to be. So for me, I've always wanted to be a vision a vision casting leader, a leader who empowers people, and a leader who helps people reach their best potential. I don't want to be the kind of leader that holds anybody back. My leadership style is about one, inspiration, but ultimately empowerment. I don't want to just inspire you and not give you tools to do what it is I'm getting you inspired to do. Because I believe that sometimes we can get people so intoxicated on inspiration that they're not focused on the ultimate dedication that it takes to be a great leader. And for me, I don't want to get you so inspired that you don't actually act on anything. So it's important that as leaders, we define what kind of leader we want to be. Your greatest opposition is yourself. I've learned myself that the greatest opposition that I'll have is myself. Easy, what do you mean by that? Here's what I mean. The days where I'm lacking discipline, lacking accountability, lacking focus, lacking motivation, lacking the effort, that version of me is my greatest opposition. And that version of me will not be successful if I let those roadblocks control me and control my mind. Yes. Conflict is healthy. It's an agent of growth as a leader. I haven't always enjoyed conflict, but I realize you must address things head on. And this is what I realized. Conflict is healthy because it is strict tension. It's friction. It doesn't feel good. But that conflict promotes growth, because when you have those tough conversations and you get to the other side of me, like, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Or you realize, you know what? I can do a better job at being calm when I'm having these conversations. I can do a better job at not getting so riled up. And you learn a lot about yourself with how you respond to conflict. So also, great leaders learn the difference between when it's time to leave a situation and when it's meant for you to stay. One thing that God has showed me is that there's a certain grace for each season we have. And when you're going into a season and you're in it, you have a certain grace for it. But then that grace runs out and it's time for you to transition to your next. Don't be the leader that overstays in the season way too long. If God's telling you to go, don't be so caught up in your past and your then that you neglect your now and your future. I think sometimes leaders can get so comfortable with just the overall redundancy and the normalcy of just doing the monotonous routine that they don't move on to greater and challenge themselves. Be a leader who's willing to challenge yourself. Find a leader within you, whether it's work, family, ministry. We're all leaders in some form of fashion. This episode, or these two episodes, were for everybody, because we're all leaders. Like, leadership is not exclusive to a title or position. Leadership is who you are in your friend group, who you are to your family members, who you are to your college friends, who you are on your job. Leadership is all of those things, and it also includes the if you're a manager, if you're a director, if you're a VP. Leadership, find a leader within you. We're all leaders, and find where God has called you to lead, because leadership ultimately is about humility and servitude. Leaders are advocates for those around them, and they feel fear, but don't let it consume them. Leaders are people who are go-getters, and leaders aren't afraid of anything. They're fearless people. Leaders are fearless is the point. They're fearless. Leaders are fearless. So as a leader, there are going to be times when you're going to need to advocate for people around you. Everybody around you may not feel like their voice is important, but you as a leader is going to have to speak up. It may be uncomfortable, but if God has graced you for the position, He's equipped you to do so. And that right there is another opportunity for growth. So I would encourage you that if you're in a position where you know you got to speak up, and some is is telling you shouldn't, I would pray against that, and especially if it's in the right setting, speak up. Your voice is needed. Your voice is needed. Don't be afraid. You may feel it, but that's not of God. You may feel it, but don't let it consume you. Confidence comes from preparation. Confidence comes from preparation. You are more confident when you are prepared. Preparation breeds confidence. So the more prepared you are, the more confident you will be. Your confidence comes from the work you put in. I can't sit up here and speak if I'm not prepared. So as a leader, I want you to make sure that you're preparing for whatever it is, the meeting, the book, the catalog, whatever it is, prepare, because that's where your confidence comes from, the work you put in behind the scenes. And my final two, you have to be willing to get in the weeds, the people you're leading. If you can't show them how to do it, then you're not leading, you're bossing. If you can't show them how to replicate it, then you're not leading, you're bossing. Nobody wants somebody who's bossing them around. People want somebody who's willing to show them, set a great example, and also be somebody who's willing to teach, coach, and correct. So teaching, coaching, and correction is what great leaders do. And last but not least, this is what I believe by. Great leaders empower other people around them to lead. If you are truly a great leader and really you're a servant, you want to build other leaders up. You want to build people around you who can help you push this thing forward, the organization forward, the job forward, whatever it is. But great leaders empower people around them to lead. So I want to encourage you that if you are a leader, you should be empowering 2 or 3 people around you to one, be leaders as well. So that's it. Those are my leadership lessons. This is part 2, and I know Dan probably has some great dialogue on this topic.
What who can you talk about or like give some shout outs to, like, I guess people who you deem as good leaders that you've came across and what made them great leaders?
Yeah, so my former one of my former VPs at my job, Tiffany Taylor, I don't know if she watches, but if she does, shout out to her. She's a phenomenal leader. And what made her such a great leader is that, one, she took a vested interest in everyone, but she also held you accountable in a way where it's accountability, but like it's tough love. Like, it's like, I know you can do better, but listen, I love you and I care about you, but you can do better than that. And she would kind of like jack you up a little bit, not physically, but verbally, but then also empower you and say, hey, I'm on yours because I know you can. Like, I know you can do it. Like, I believe in you, and that's what I think made her a incredible leader. I want to shout out Josh Jenkins, a young adult pastor at my church, First Baptist of Glenarden, and he's a phenomenal leader. I think Josh, what makes Josh a great leader is that Josh isn't scared to share what he knows. Any resource you need, he will share it with you. Josh will, pour into you, and then he's always gonna give you his honest opinion. Like, Josh ain't gonna tell you what you want to hear. He's gonna tell you what the Word of God says and what the Holy Spirit has put on his heart. And he is, as well versed as he is, he's a very educated, humble dude, and he's not afraid to empower people around him. And some of those things, I've learned, by watching them. Who else? My dad, because he's a great listener. He listens and always provides a sound wisdom. My therapist, she's great. She provides sound wisdom and correction as well. She'd jack me up too. But yeah, right now, those are some of the. I think Keon's a great leader.
Yeah.
I think Keon, like, he's a friend who will hold you accountable, who will who will tell you when you're wrong, tell you when you're right. And it's not based on what you feel. It's based on you know, right and wrong. But those are people. I mean, forgive me if anybody's watching this. I am probably missing a lot of people. Those are the ones that just can't top of mind, and it is our last session of the day. So bear with me. But yeah, but those are probably
Cool.
right.
And is there any communities that you wish could benefit more from, I guess, sound leadership at this moment with the current state that we're in?
We say communities like
I can, and I'll give a couple. I wish that, and this is deviating from like we have our list, and it's more like a general conversation, I guess. I wish the black community, we talked about it in the previous episode. I wish like the black community had more, I guess, representation of sound leaders.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you can point to, oh, that's the leader community, that's the leader community, that's the leader. But we don't. I'm trying to, unless I'm uninformed.
Same.
We don't have
like one or like a consortium of people that like we're like, yo,
that's
the guy
leader. Yeah. Outside of like an Obama,
yeah,
who I think embodied great leadership, not just for the country, but just as a black man in a powerful position.
Yeah, same.
On how to move and how to hold that position with honor. Like, I wish the black community had more, specifically younger people that took on these roles that could be a face of something or of a movement. So I would say, like, in the political space, I wish we had more black leaders that took that face that the general public knew, because not the people that just, are of the, like, if I don't have to do research, I'm saying, like, we know who MLK is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know who that is. I wish there was more sound leaders, like, in sports, but we actually have them now. So I'm not even gonna say sports anymore. Like, it used to be a point where there weren't black quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But now we got leaders of teams and programs and people like LeBron who are leading in media spaces. So, like, I don't know, but do you have any, like, I guess, communities or things that you wish we had more leaders of?
I think right now, black men, we need, I mean, like, it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're saying. I think that we need, like, to unite better. Definitely the black community. But yeah, I think right now, like, that's who I would say. Like, we just need more, and honestly, we need more examples of men loving God, like Jesus, like, out loud, and, like, we need masculine examples of men that other men respect and want to, and not want to be like per se, but like admire. That's the word I'm looking at. Like, I want to say admire, and we need that. We need that desperately. I don't know if we, but I mean, and I said this before, but I think God is raising up a generation of men, like yourself, and you and I, to be in those positions, in our respective community. So, but I think men need it a lot, bro, because it starts with us. Like, if we start leading, being an example, the whole paradigm of the community shifts.
Yeah.
The whole paradigm of the community shifts. So it starts with us. I think that we need to be, we need more examples of young dudes who love Jesus, honestly.
I think that's a great call back to, like, the question that made me think about. I would love to see more, not just fathers, but like husbands too.
Yeah.
And not just people in the relationship. I'm talking about, how do you act in the relationship?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people who are married or in relationships, but they don't hold, they don't meet the standard of that actual title. If that makes sense.
We need more men in faith. That's a shameless plug. Something coming.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just need, I think that would be a benefit to just the next generation upcoming, because a part of God building that generation that you're talking about, God is going to implore and give those lessons to the leaders of the community now to give and to put them in positions and stuff like that to raise people up and then raise the next nation up. So those are just a couple communities that I think would benefit.
I got a question for you. What do you think your greatest asset is as a leader?
Oh man. That's a question I would ask people who I've had the privilege of being on teams with. Because I would I think that's a question for somebody else. But
I can answer some of it.
I would love to hear.
I think
I would love to. Let's hear this one real quick.
I think some of the things that I initially see is that you are an executionist, you are a visionary, you are a great listener, and I think that you have extremely great creative direction. But I think also like you have I don't want to say accountability spirit, but like you have like a like it's something inside you that like it's like very good with like holding people to the like to what they say they're going to do. Like, and I don't know what's that called. Like, I guess it's accountable spirit. I guess, you know, but like, cause like I know if I tell you I'm gonna do something, or I tell you I have an idea about something, you ask me about it, but like the way you ask me, I mean, you never ask in the way like you don't believe. Like you ask if you believe, but you ask in the way like almost like, okay, God said it, but what you doing? Like, what steps have you put to make this thing actually happen? So I would say visionary, great listener, creative direction, executionist, accountable, and servant.
I appreciate that.
Servant.
I appreciate that. I really do. And like I said, the last word I think is the most important thing that anybody can do. Just as we quoted in the first one, like in sacrifice, one out of the list, sacrifice is, I think that is a huge important quality. Like huge. I can recall things that I'm not gonna speak about on camera, but I'll tell you after we end. This for specific reasons why. But sacrifice is such a huge part of leadership. For you, well, I think things I've witnessed you be how you are a great leader.
Hold on real quick. This is funny because we having like a bromance moment on camera. Nah. And I'm with anybody.
I was thinking about when you said, I'm like, you know what? Because I want a part of this, but the people need to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's part of leader. Like I really appreciate like the one of the first things you read was to have a vision. And I think that you are really good at projecting a vision and then curating a plan around that vision and then showing up to that vision. A lot of people will create a vision and it'll fall apart because they don't show up for it. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you're prepared for the assignment, whatever that homework assignment or whatever that thing is, you show up to that. So that's a sound quality that you got. Sacrifice. Patience is huge.
Patience, for real?
I think you are extremely patient. More patient than you think you are.
That's a compliment.
I think you.
Okay, that's all right.
I think patience doesn't mean like I do something, so you have to be patient with me. I think you're patient with yourself. You're patient with God. Even if you have moments where you might not feel like that, I think you can be upset without moving away from. And that's what I think true patience is. Some people will literally be like, when I say patient, they'll be like
erratic and like
they'll be mad and they'll move to the next step. I feel like you always, I'm upset or I feel like this could be better, but I'm still going to wait until the step is supposed to be ordered. That's true patience.
Okay.
So I think you embody like true patience. So
I appreciate that.
That's a huge. I think that's another great leadership tool. And then finally, just you keep the main thing the main thing. So whether that's giving glory to God, or if you guys have a mission, you tend to make the main thing, whatever that thing is, you tie it back to that main thing, to a purpose. And without the purpose, there is nothing at all. So I think you are an amazing leader. And I'm excited to see how you continue to develop your
Dang, man,
skills.
That's all right, man. I appreciate that, man. Y'all just got some behind the scenes stuff on camera, man. Nah, man, thank you though, bro. Nah, for real. Nah, that's love, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anything else we got?
I'm good.
Well, thank you guys for Lessons in Leadership. You know, this was part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. By now, you know, we've been, you know, consistent. So, you know, stay tuned. You know, we got plenty more to come. This is going to be a phenomenal year. And faith. Everything else is coming soon. Love, Easy.